How do you share, your approach to life, and how do you work with people? Women especially, I think, right?
I guess like what I'd like to share first is during this discussion, I just have this thought that I'm like, I want to share because it was such a profound moment for me. The realization of pretty much everything in life comes down to attachment and detachment. With trauma, we often get too attached or too detached. Too attached to other people and too detached from ourselves. So a big part of healing is learning how to attach from a healthy foundation to ourselves and to each other in dating, relationship, friendships, business, any outcome, anything external, and also detach.
Yeah.
So for me, the way I function with everything is I attach and I detach. I make decisions based on that, from my body, from my mind. And that's how I also work with clients. That's how I work with companies, is how can you build that strong foundation with yourself and peel those layers, unlearn the dysfunctional detachment and attachment to then do that from a healthy place, from a nourishing place. And it transforms. It's like a light bulb when you get that. And I see my client getting that unlearning part, and then it's the beautiful, delicious tapping into sensuality and passion and pleasure, and not just in sex or intimacy, but in life. How you drink your coffee, how you take your shower. Do you take it in a rush and I just need to wash myself? Or do you touch your skin and celebrate yourself and the taste or the sunlight on your skin?
You're describing beautifully now also, because I'm already thinking people may wonder, but okay, what if I'm not in a committed relationship, or if I'm not in a situation where I feel there's people around me for touch, for sensual experiences, for sexual experiences, but you just beautifully described we can give it all to ourselves also.
To ourselves and to each other. And the power of connecting with yourself is that then you know what connections are good for you, and you know what to attach yourself to and what to detach from. That's the beauty, but it all comes down to you.
Yeah.
And then to build on top of that foundation, it is the healing experiences. And before, I used to be in that camp of, self-develop and heal and then enter a relationship from a healthy foundation perspective. And then I grew up a little more and I realized that, hey, this self-development is beautiful, but there's so much beauty in healing in relationships and having those healing experiences when you get triggered, and then you can work through that together, or like something from your past, and you can attach and detach together. And it just, what a gift, because we're here meant to connect. And I feel like that's what we saw today. At the event with women, we were all hugging each other, holding space, sharing experiences like we used to back in the day. In the tribes, women used to gather around the fire. We would exchange wisdom and we would do all that stuff. So I'm just glad that we're now kind of recreating that space for now and for the future.
There's so much beautiful wisdom in that. And I love that we just had the launch of the Anna's detachment and attachment approach to life.
It's a first.
What a day of firsts. What I also really like about this attachment and detachment is thinking of today's world. It's often also very materialistic, right?
Yes.
And speaking of attachment, we cling on to material things. And I'm not saying that we should do without anything at all. No, but still there needs to be a balance. As soon as there's not enough of one of the two, that keeps us somehow in balance. We need to see how we can fill that cup. And with regards to detachment, I also think emotional, it sounds to me a bit like decluttering, or cleansing, cleaning up, purifying, exactly, to create space for more, let's say, healthier, more meaningful experiences. And again, it's this kind of critical phase with detachment, I think, a lot, if it's about releasing something that's no longer serving us, right? Of course, there may also be detachment that is healthy, right? But let's talk about the one that we want to make happen, that it's often also part of this is losing who we are or who we
yes.
have thought, or
Beautiful
kind of what we created, for the image we created. And this is a bit of a scary thing, to just trust that even if we let go of certain things, new magic will come into our life. Yeah.
No, and I think it's like, that's why it's so important to create that safety with yourself and build peace with emptiness, or build peace with not even being lost, but being in search. And to just pause for a moment, because we all have this need to have security and safety, and oh, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow, and this is what I'm going to do 5 years from now on, and then I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have that, because our minds like to create these safety nets and like live to expectations. But what is life really? It's not being addicted to your phone or having that, dopamine from your social media. Like, what if you just sat with yourself for an hour? And everybody listening, why don't you think back to the last time you did that, without any distractions, without any way of escaping? You were present with yourself for an hour without doing anything.
A date with oneself.
Yeah.
Assuming that we go on dates and are present, which may be sometimes a challenge as well.
Yeah.
But at least practicing.
Yeah. But maybe this will be a first.
Yes.
For a lot of people to prioritize spending time with yourself and getting to know yourself. I mean, what a better use of time to really embrace who you are and explore who you are. Not just who you've been in the past, and not just the expectations of who you should be, or the different roles or masks you wear on a daily basis, but what are the different facets of you? What is that, child side? Because it's like, for example, for me, I can be very professional. I can be very determined. Usually if I decide something, I'm like, let's make it happen. Let's do this. Even on a short notice, I just get excited. And then it's just like, let's do it. And then I have this inner child. Whenever I see water or sand, I just run and I just enjoy, and I scream, and I, embrace it fully. Or, in a romantic way, there's like this playful side and flirty and all these things. Those are very different Annas, but they're all such like just deeply part of who I am. And I love all that I don't need to limit it. I can allow different expressions, and every day I learn something new about myself, or like, oh, there's this thing I didn't know, or maybe this is what I want to do. And, so just take time and explore who you are and who you're becoming.